Welcome to this session.
This session reveals how a team successfully implemented a complex system in just 2 months, emphasizing the importance of client-developer synergy and problem-solving over technology choices in achieving rapid, effective solutions. With over 13 years in software development, our next speaker leads a team at the forefront of live selling, e-commerce, and AI technologies. He'll explain why Flow trumps tech. Please welcome the Chief Technology Officer of Digital Innoventors Group, Mr. Gian Santolian.
Hello. Okay. Didn't notice that. How is everyone? Let me actually share my screen to give you. There we go. All right. Thank you all for coming this afternoon, especially with a lot of things that we are doing. It's a Wednesday at 4:30, 5 p.m. So probably maybe some of you have releases today or actually just finished any of your sprint meetings. Anyway, okay, so today we're going to discuss a few things that is a bit different. Our topic is why Flow is better than tech. Okay, so first off, hi, I'm Gian. I'm a CTO just recently. However, I learned a few lessons the hard way, with a lot of things that we have been doing so far. Um, okay, so just to give a background, and then I think this would be very helpful once we progress forward, is that currently we're in a company that we're primarily focused in e-commerce, and then you know that's a bit rough when you're in the PH, because there's a lot of things that are a lot of moving parts that either not yet automated or the best way to do it is by doing it manually. Okay, that's me. And then before I proceed, I just want to leave you first with a quote. If you can't describe what you are doing as a process, you don't know what you are doing. Um, so this is one of the things that I found out as a developer for the past 13 years, is that this is very prominent, especially if you're doing a lot of freelances, and then if this is something that you're doing every single day, and then there's new products, new features that you are working on, is that um oops, sorry, is that um if there's no process that's available, it's really hard to create an application. I think this is for everyone that is here now. For example, if the one of the poll that said, like, one of the people or your stakeholders say, hey, we really need to do this, to do XYZ. In this case, I want us to be able to, like, upload everything that we have in the cloud, for example. I want that. Either the CEO or the stakeholder would say that. If as a developer, or it's really hard where to start. I think this is very, very obvious that it's a hard where to start, especially that you need to ask a lot of questions first. You need to know what's happening on the left, and then going directly to the right. And then if you don't have that specific in mind, when I say process here, it could be anything. In this case, like the business process, the business flow. If you're not privy with that, and then you're a developer, I think it's time to find like a different way of thinking where you need to be able to like have even just a high level overview of what things are. So as soon as we go or start everything that we're doing, um, those are the things that we always think about in regards of it. Okay, so basically, what does flow versus what does tech mean? It's pretty obvious, right? But what is flow in product building? Flow is a smooth and uninterrupted progression of work from an idea to execution in product building. It's the alignment it's the alignment between team member tasks and goals. So I think a lot of you are from enterprise, and basically it's what diagrams and daily processes are. So before you proceed from step one, I need first a UML diagram, or I need a set of information first before I go to the next one. So basically that's it. In a high level thing, that's what flow is in product building. And it is actually everything from clear direction. Everyone knows their specific role, progress without confusion, and then a lot and a lot and a lot of Excel files, papers, people involved, and then red tape. Um, just a few for in regards with engagement from everyone here. When you say like in your team, for example, what's the first thing that you think of if you hear Excel files, red tape, and then talking to another team? Like, I don't expect any poll, so I just want to know if, like, for example, you just comment it in the chat if this is something that if what you think about it, and then we could like dive deep on that again later. If we go into the QA question and answer for that one. Yes, actually, that's actually good. Excel file means numbers and deadlines. So, just to give also like a background in this story is before without using any trackers. Like this was 2012, 2013. I didn't know what agile is, or I didn't even know what a sprint is. We used Excel files as well in those cases. But um, so of flow is anything that is has clear direction. That means there's a specific process or a specific way of doing things that was first has been um, has been cemented in your company, or for example in the project. Let's say for example you're a developer, or somebody came in and then wanted you to create the most basic one that's always been happening for like fresh graduates is I want to create I want to create an inventory system, for example. At the start, for the 4 years that you have been working, or for the 4 years that you have been learning things from school, most probably you have an idea of what a POS or what an inventory system is. It's like you need to have like accrued for coming in, products coming in, or the stocks coming out, transactions that's coming in, transactions that are coming out. But that's the most basic part of it, right? But that doesn't. This is why it's really hard, even though it's very basic to create an inventory system. Um, um, by default, it's really hard to like, for example, for your if you're a small business and then you're also like you're also a small scale developer, uh, working with like a team of three, and then you just wanted to start a business, you wanted to sell an inventory system. A lot of developers say, hey, okay, we're going to create you the inventory system, and then after we create it for you, what we're going to do is we're going to sell it out. So what they're going to do is, okay, I'm going to sell it for you for like some 6 digits, and then after we build that with our team for the next 3 months, we're going to sell that somewhere else. So in a lot of times, yes, that would actually work. The problem is, and then this is also like predominant with accounting systems that we have in the PH as well as real estate systems, is that it's really hard to create a set of bespoke systems. Because the flow or the process of those companies are differs from company A to company B. So a lot of like a lot of developers as well is saying, okay, okay, we're going to do that, and then we're going to sell it out, and then if another customer, once again, another set of items, we're going to remove that and then probably make it into a plugin and then add it again. If you think about it, kind of it's easy to be able to do it, to be able to like transform it into something that you would be able to sell, or something for a future for future proofing something. But the problem is that because their processes are very bespoke, like for example company A and company B has different processes, it's going to be hard for you to be able to sell it again, and then going to be hard for you to sell it again. Unless actually if you start asking why, or why are we doing this? Why aren't we doing this? Or why is it the best case to be able to start here? For example, in this part of the diagram, why isn't why isn't this part not working? And then we're trying to sell it out. So those are like, for example, the things that's very problematic. If you do freelance, a lot of things like this is actually happening. Goes with what is things like the inventory system, like those basic systems that are available. But if you actually look at it, there are like specific industries that rely on the specific processes first before relying on technologies. These are the top few things that I see as well, and then have observed that doesn't necessarily need technology in, but requires the processes to come first. One would be anything that is a restaurant. That means it's their POS, how they track their products, how they do specific things. Like what does a restaurant do? Like anyone from chat could be able to like just put it in. Like I forgot. So there's a lot of things that's happening in regards with a restaurant and food service. But most of it, if you're going to really think about it, you really don't need you don't need a computer. Well, you need a computer, but you don't need like an automated system to be able to like do something. Another is construction. So in construction, obviously, so for in regarding with how you do quotes, how you budget all the things that you have there, and then how you budget the inventory. And then next is farming and agriculture, retail markets. So that means let's going back with POSs, and then workshops. When we say workshops, if you're familiar with master classes or with like seminars, you don't need technology for it. And then lastly is I'm not sure if you're going to say no, hey, this is not true. But logistics and delivery, especially the last mile, doesn't necessarily need technology first. It requires the process to be available and be completed. So you can see the things that we have here as the industry, or the things that we are doing. These types of items, they need the flow first before anything in regards with the technology. And I think this is something that's pretty nice to be able to think about once we like move forward with our projects and anything, especially understanding why doesn't it need technology first. um Probably the answer for that one is that the items that we have here are those that are not really small businesses, but they are those that scale. And then especially once they scale, like once it goes up and up, that's when you actually need those automation. But technically these are like items that you could do Excel with, that you could do a piece of paper with. And then it's hard and then weird if you put in technology first before doing the process. So imagine doing all of these items, and then they don't have the process yet, and then you're thinking of putting in you're thinking of putting in the technology. Oh, this is nice. Automation and then the next question, why, where, why, like where are you going with that thing? There are a lot of things in regards with it that's it's pretty like there's a few questions in that. Okay. Um, next is this one. So let's talk about the other side of the coin, which is the technology. So, what is tech in product building? Tech is actually everything that you could think of. We're all in the software industry here, so we probably like understand what these are. But so technology is in product building refers to the tools, the frameworks, and the platforms that you use to develop and deliver a product. So while tech provides capabilities, it can't replace proper processes and flow. So um if this so technically if you're going to think about it, and then let's go back to the previous slide, is these things would actually work without technology, and then to be able to scale, that's where technology comes in. um th- that's how the whole process is. This is very important for us to be able to like identify why is it that flow starts first before the whole technology is. So basically, anything in technology is anything where you need something else to scale, and you can't actually, or you cannot actually scale if you don't have your processes in place. So this is very very helpful if you're a developer in in a lean team, or for example you're a product owner, that um you need to be able to say, okay, hey, I think we can't scale this yet because we're really broken on this part, so kailangan talaga natin baguhin itong part na to. So that's really something na we need to be able to think of in regards with this. And then if you're a developer and then you see that okay, there's two sides of everything. Now pag nagbukas ka ng ticket mo and then you open Jira, Linear, I don't know what you're using, hopefully not just Excel, but if you open your ticketing system and then you understand that okay, the acceptance criteria for this is ABC. But why though? So, di ba parang the grooming session becomes more conversational, not only for the developer or not only for the product owner or the product manager or the project manager. It's not just them talking to you. Okay, I need this. This is the acceptance criteria. This is A. This is B. This is C. And then just most of the time, developer would just say, ah, okay, yeah, okay. I'm going to do that. That's a three. Or probably the developer would just say, okay, sige, naintindihan ko, siguro baka related to dito, kaya gagawin natin to. Pero if you understand that it's mostly being vocal as well as a developer, saying na okay, this is A, this is B, this is C. I understand that the stakeholders wants us to do A, B, and C. 'Di ba? So parang A, B, and C. Pero bakit though? Bakit kailangan na bakit kasama to? Okay, kung kasama to, how about the other things na ginagawa natin? Uh, why do we need to do this next? And then why do we need to do this last? Or why do we need to do this all at the same time? Or why not we do something else with the whole thing? Which actually gives a lot of conversation from and giving power with the developer saying, ah, okay, um, that's a good point. And then although if you think about it, minsan parang that's why I think for some grooming sessions are very long. Like I heard teams where their grooming session was 16 hours. I'm not sure if that's healthy or if that's normal, or but the idea here is that kasi marami pang mga ano kulang, and then it helps with the developers as well being accountable with the whole project, because alam niya kung paano yung proseso. So he knows that ABC is needed to be able to go to D, right? So if he knows that, like because of the process that or the flow that has been already been available to him, maintindihan niya, okay, we need to do this. So the developer would think, okay, I'm going to do this, and then I'm going to take notes of the other things. Like, maglagay ako ng comment dito. At to do, Gian, you need to do this. Next time we're going to be here because I think ang next steps natin would be XYZ. So that's what tech basically in product building. And then now I I want us to think of something else muna, not really technology. well, not really systems and inventory. And then I want to give I want to I want you to see what exactly I mean when flow is better than technology. So I'm not sure if this is something that you're familiar with, and then if it is, this is very nice. And I don't know, siguro kasi I've been an Assassin's Creed geek for a very long time, like siguro 2010. Like I haven't stopped playing it. So, um, benefits of flow over technology. So flow keeps everyone on the same page, ensuring that the right features get built at the right time. So this is basically the synergy of the product owner or the stakeholders with the developers. So this is the very important part here is not just the product owners or the stakeholders talking, but actually the developers talking back, saying, "Hey, okay, we're going to do this, but if we're going to do this, there would be problems. There would be like things that we're not going to do first, so that we could accommodate whatever you're working on." But before we go and proceed further, so I want us to be able to go to yes, actually. That is actually similar with the project charter. So it's very correct. So it's very important actually to have like those specific things if you're going to start. Okay, let's go back to Florence of in the 15th century. So if you're familiar with Assassin's Creed, you're probably familiar with this, but I think if yung nag-start sa akin sa AC yung nag-start eh, why I really like this. But I've always been a fan of these guys. So if you're familiar with the Medici, um, they're kinda what you mean by scaling without technology. So they have been able to scale the banking system in the 15th century without needing any technologies. So there are a few important things to be able for you to be able to do that. The first, just remember that the Medici family didn't have any of the sophisticated banking technologies that you have now. It didn't have InstaPay, it didn't have QR codes, it didn't have any of all of those things, right? So and then they don't even have wires, right? So parang how did the whole thing? Instead, they created a robust and innovative flow for managing money, risk, and relationships. So, to give you a background, I'm not sure. I think I've gone overexcited with the idea of talking about the Medici, but on 15th century, there were a lot of banks that has started to rise up in Florence. So in Florence, Italy, there were a lot of banks, and because even though it was a Catholic, I don't know, like I'm not sure if it's a city, place, um, there's a lot of people there, and then textile was like really parang trendy. So parang siya yung I forgot what their term for that is, but parang it's the bubble. So parang textile. And then that's because so ibig sabihin nun parang dumadami yung mga mayayaman sa mga area, and then obviously they need banking and then everything. So there were a few banking families already before the Medici. However, I think Medici is the best if you search about it as well. The Medici family is the only one where the the money or the money itself is nandyan pa rin even though wala na actually Medici na buhay right now. And then they're the only one that has like everything that they've taught their clients with accounting is still there being used in the accounts we have now. So if you come to think of it, they were the parang OG of the people that were able to scale their business without any technologies. And then it is very important to understand that the only way they were able to do it is that they created the banking system that has been that thrived because it built on a process that was clear, efficient, and adaptable. Besides those points, obviously maraming mga bagay dyan like they were able to they were able to get the papacy as their client, right? So parang okay, I have money here, ganyan. But even if you have the papacy or the PayPal crown to be able to have to be their accountant and handle their money or be their banker, you still need to be able to understand like how would they put their money from Italy, for example, to all the trades that the papacy has been doing somewhere else, right? So that's a very interesting thing with Medici. So sila yung parang best example for my end on why flow is very important. Besides the technology, you need to be able to scale your processes that it is good. You have been asking yourself, okay, why are we doing this? Why aren't we doing this? Is this the best way to do it? Is this the best way to do it? Or for example, I think or probably scrap everything and then do it do something else. Pero while I'm talking about this, I think you're understanding that the top most important thing about the whole thing that I have been discussing is that they have been great in communication. So they have been very great with communication. So now let's go back to our time. Like quite a bit. Like saglit lang. Balik tayo sa time natin where we communicate with for example, I'm a developer by heart, so I communicate with developers daily, and then I've communicated with my project managers before, and understand that it's always like a two-way street. And then us as developers, siguro it looks like I was looking into this, and then there's a lot of developers here. Is that we need to be able to start communicating as well, not just during, kunya, for example, during stand up. This is a great example. Eh. You would be able to like ayusin yung mga processes or the flows of how a project would go. And then this is something that you could actually put in your project charter, is that okay, if we do stand-ups, you need to understand that the stand-ups is not for the stakeholders. The stand-ups are for the developers and the product owner to be able to say na, okay, align tayo today. This is the things that we're going to do. I know what I'm going to do. I know what you're going to do. So if matamaan ko yung gawa mo, okay, saglit lang. Or you're doing something of a feature and then saying, okay, matatamaan ko ata yung proseso mo for this. Can we have like a quick touch base to say, parang mali ata yung implementation mo or mali implementation ko because magkakatamaan tayo ng gawa. Kasi sometimes it's in the process eh. Like for example, today we just really literally did the release 15 minutes prior this. That's why I was caught off guard with the launch. I mean, with with getting on stage because we literally just had a release like 15-20 minutes ago, and then there was a ruckus. So parang nagkaroon ng issue. And then I think in retrospect, those things would be been able to be fixed if um kapag-usap na maayos. It's because it's two different features pero dahil affected siya, like the other one is nasa pinaka dulo eh. So just a brief background, we are in e-commerce end to end. So we did the deployments especially for the customer journey or the first part of the flow, which is the customers coming in. So we deployed something there. But technically, if even though we did the tests and we did the testing there, pagdating sa dulo, passed naman. So yung mga tests doon. However, we didn't think of the process of what the people are doing in our warehouses na they need this to be able to go here. I think this is a lesson from our end on how we can actually improve on those. Probably there are automations, as we said. This is where the technology comes in. That could probably help us with making sure that our processes are actually still guarded. Kasi may mga times talaga matatamaan mo yan. Pero you need to be able to understand that matamaan mo siya, ma-communicate agad na, okay, natamaan natin to, pero so next time, hindi dapat natin siya matamaan ulit. So those are like the things that we have in. Okay, okay. So let's go back saglit ulit to the past and then talk about the Medici again. So this is this is how the Bardi or the Peruzzi banks had. So they were trying to set up their own system and then their own business. It's not really tech talaga, pero it's the technology that we had before. So the Bardi and the Peruzzi banks had no structured and way of assessing and managing risks across their many branches and dealings. So they have the tech. So what are the technologies that were available at that time? Technologies available at that time would be the paper, the pen, I don't know, like the ship, and all the middle management that you have across all your banks, across Europe. So they have all of those. However, hindi nila alam kung paano nila gagawin yung proseso nila. They don't know na, okay, once sinulat ko to, pupunta ako dito, and then pag nasulat ko to dito, I should deduct it somewhere. So that's the debit credit, right? So to be able to say na okay, na parang laging may check and balance, and then we cascade these changes to the others. They had the technology, but they haven't perfected the flow yet. Kung paano nila gagawin yung business nila or the process that they have. So that's how they were able to they failed. So so these banks are actually they overextended themselves, making themselves very large, and then they created very unsecured loans sa mga tao sa Europe. So they wanted to go big. So I want to scale, man. I want to scale. So the problem is because of they want to scale, sabi nila, okay, gagastos ako with these items. Gagastos ako dito, gagastos ako sa mga tao, gagastos ako sa maraming barko, but I don't have the process in place. I don't have the I haven't thought of all of those yet. So dun pa lang makikita mo, okay. Some people actually think na okay, let's buy everything first and then let's buy the process as well. What I mean there is ibig sabihin is let's just solve it when we get there. That is well and good. We do that as well. In a lot of things we're doing. However, the problem there is if the base of what you're doing is hindi mo pa alam technically kung ano yung buong process or you haven't stabilized yourself there, it would be really really hard to be able to scale. So they're kind of like the people who wanted to scale that time, yet yung base nila infrastructure is not yet stable. So the Bardi and the Peruzzi banks had no structured way of assessing and managing risks, diba? Across their branches and dealings, and then they relied much on their connections and personal relationships. So rather than instituting clear processes for lending. So ibig sabihin yan, okay, magkakilala na tayo. So in this case, relationships are like technologies as well. So um, that means that's because communication yun eh. So from me to you, nagko-communicate tayo. That means there's technology involved with that kasi nagkakaroon ng transfer of whatever knowledge. In this case, kunyari money supposedly. However, wala silang proper structure. So nagkakasabog-sabog. So pumuputok siya in a way na okay, wala pala tayong pera dyan. So they've become insolvent. And then they didn't know na they were illiquid na pala. Which is why going back with the Medici, the idea that the Medici was able to scale everything pa rin is so very, very nice to be able to see. Kasi parang, okay, that's the OG of scaling. And then right now, the process that they have is still being used, which is yung debit credit for that one. Okay, a few things as well in regards with this. A few key takeaways regarding the Medici, the Peruzzi. Um, the Medici system reminds us that the foundation of success lies in a well-defined flow. So, regardless if all the money that you have the tech, but you don't have the process, it would not it would not work. I'll give you an example. For example, one of your clients say, "Okay, I have $500K to use right now. I want to be able to do this, and then I want to do it now." um the what's your next steps? Like, do you understand first why he's doing it, like the way that he's doing it, or are you going to sit there and then try to do the code na rin ulit? So those are the things that we need to be able to think of, as not only as like developers, but for example people that is our stakeholders that needs to understand why this person is doing that project again. there's a lot of digital marketers actually that do this first. They want to know the why of the person. And then there was I think there was also somebody who talked here to Softcon a while back that it is very important. It might sound like cliche or what, but you really need to find out the why. Because without it, hindi mo makuha yung ano, even with a lot of like things that's been provided for you. Okay, um, let's go next. So I've said a lot about the Medici flow tech, but we're developers, right? We're not really product managers. So as developers, how is this very helpful to you? So this is very helpful in a few ways. So one that's being helpful is that there's a few things that's going to be given to you, which is it encourages critical thinking, identifies root causes, drives continuous improvement, enhances collaborations, and reduces risks. So, if you're a developer that is coming in, sasabihin ni project manager, hey, alam mo, kausap ko kahapon yung CEO natin. He wants to be able for us to um, upload all the videos that we have sa system natin papunta sa kabilang system. We have a warehouse management system, for example. Also, you're going to think if you're just the developer and then you don't want to communicate like the or you don't want to know why we're doing the process of it, you're just going to say, okay, I can do that in 2 weeks. So 2 weeks in, pumasok ka na, so parang proud ka sa ginawa mo. Okay, it has been 2 weeks na our system can do this na. We can upload all the systems, all the logs from our internal server to the cloud. We can do that na. And then, so proud ka na, no? Kasi like, kumamad ka 1 week, 2 weeks, ganyan. And then, sinabi niya after, okay, ito yung gawin natin next. Na-upload na natin sa server, kailangan natin siyang kailangan natin siyang ma-download ulit sa isa pang backup na cloud. So parang, huh? So there's a lot of like whys that's been available. If sa start pa lang ng project, like the product manager came to you as a team or parang nag-usap freelance mo ganyan, and then you've been discussing, it's really nice to be able to say to ask the whys and the why not. I think there was this thing that you need to be able to ask 5 whys first before you would be able to understand the whole situation. Because for example, um okay, this is really nice if let's see, I'll give you like 30 seconds. If anyone in the chat would like be able to like give an example lang of something that their project manager or their stakeholders like told them, okay, we need to do this, and then parang masyado siyang malaki or masyadong bakit natin ginagawa. If you have there, that would be nice. So that's something that we could actually talk about. Um, pero balikan ko na lang in a bit. However, just to give you an example, if we're actually asking kasi these things, number one, it gives us like passion as well in development as well as what we're developing for, because we know all of these whys that we have for this one. And then yun nga, so because we have that specific passion, we it encourages yung critical thinking, and then because you had asked why or why not, most of the time it identifies yung root causes, and sometimes yung root cause pala, you don't need to code anything, like they just need to do a certain way or certain flow, like um no, for us going back, we're in fulfillment. So there's a few processes where we actually time how many orders can a packer pack. And then there was a time that it was like 15 minutes. And then obviously because we're looking at technology, the first thing I was thinking was, okay, it's 15 minutes. Does that mean I need to change something with the flow? I mean, I change with something with the technology. Do I need to talk to my developers and say, okay, this ERP is not working, or this part of the process not working because it takes 20 minutes for a packer to pack an order. So okay. And then I asked why. Why is it 20 minutes in the first place? So nalaman ko, I talked to the Packers and then saw that there's a specific process that they were doing. So and then I asked again, why is this the process that we're doing? And then sabihin nila, okay, we need to do this because we need to do that first. And then I asked, okay, why do you need to do that first? And then I asked again. Um, hanggang nalaman na yung root cause was, okay, we just need to flip the switch and then step two becomes step one, and then step one becomes step two. And then that's something that's saying na, hey, okay, that 20 minutes becomes 10. Kasi yun pala, iniipit nila lahat ng mga items. So they're queuing it and then we don't know that there was bottleneck on it. And then because we just got the end fact from our stakeholders that we only knew that it was 20 minutes per packer. And then we wanted to be able to change something about it. Technically, if you're thinking about technology, the first thing you're going to probably do is like, okay, I need to optimize how we upload videos. Baka kailangan i-cache sa phone. Number two, okay, baka kailangan namin mag-change ng cloud provider because something is different. Number three is, okay, probably it's the phone and then something with the mobile app that needs to be fixed. Um, and then you're thinking a lot of all of these technologies that you want to be able to change or things. And then coding that is opportunity cost. So if we coded that, that could probably took us 2 weeks to be able to complete, or 3 weeks plus probably like 3 days, 7 days of testing. But because we asked the whys for like 30, 40, 50 minutes, we understood that we just need to switch step one to step two. So that steps actually is like the printing. So we print our own way bills, and then we do that as a step two. So we did that before because there were a lot of manual processes that we had before that we're going to discuss later as well. But that was the thing that we were doing. And then okay, yung printing ng waybill gawin natin sa una. So the first thing that they need to do at the start of the day is to be able to get all the printed waybills and then collect those and do it isa. Okay, now there's no bottleneck. We didn't need to do that 3 weeks worth of work because we just needed to switch step one and step two. So yeah, um so those are the things that is very very important. And then going back, so continuous improvement, asking the whys and being actually not really just asking the whys, but being communicatable is very helpful because it drives continuous improvement not only on you, not only on the processes, but parang sa whole thing you as your team to be able to say, hey, okay, I get you, ganito pala dapat gawin natin. And then that's aligned with obviously collaboration. And then lastly, this is where the stakeholders are very happy, even the product managers that we have here. It reduces the risks because of just those basic communications and then basic flows, being sure that we have it on our place. We know we know that we know that this is very fast. Kaya talaga natin siya. In that regards. Okay. So that's in regards to developers, right? Pero this is the last thing to grow in regards with the dev. Asking why and why not. Why ensures automation supports a seamless flow, but why not avoids over reliance on a tech that complicates things. So um it's another set. Why we're doing this is because we want to be able to automate things. However, as a product manager, as a senior developer, as someone who always communicates with everyone, you also need to understand yung ibig sabihin ng why not, which is being a contrarian, saying na okay, why not, let's not do that. What would happen if we were not going to do that? Would it break something? Kasi baka mamaya people just need to think outside the box in regards to process or a flow. And then helping being that person would actually help so much. So this is very challenging to people kasi that means you would technically technically be that person in the room saying, why are you not agreeing with us? Why? So parang as long as, like, for example, that's where collaboration and then understanding communication comes into play. But it's very important for us to, as engineers, to be able to understand na, okay, we need to all think about outside the box kasi minsan baka hindi natin pala kaya itong buong bagay na to. So yun, I really love, by the way, the things that you guys are putting on chat. Because even though I'm a developer, I relate to this like so much, like 100%. So yeah. um okay. Let's move forward. Kasi baka awayin na ako because we have only a few times left. A quick case study. So um the case study actually was us as well. Just to give you something. Um January to March, we had a 500% productivity increase across the room. This was calculated by understanding the number of orders that we were able to push out and the number of people that we were able to come in. Basically, the idea here is that this, just to give a background before that, our everything from our end was manual before. This is before I came in, or before the technology was something that became predominant in things. And then this whole thing actually is, I think, a love letter for myself to everything that has happened, because let me tell you a story. On January, we as a company, going back, we're in e-commerce, and then majority of what we're doing is live selling, but we're live selling on Facebook. So, I'm not sure if ilan dito ang nagla-live selling sa Facebook. React na lang kayo ng heart pag nagla-live sell, kung nanonood kayo ng live selling sa Facebook. But majority is actually on TikTok, right? Hey, ang dami ah. So, majority is on TikTok or Shopee, and then not really on Facebook. The reason is manual siya. You need to type in the comment of what you want to purchase. Um, you need to wait for the live seller to finish what they're showing on screen, right? Before anything else. Um, so those are really hard, but that's where actually we strive. So that was just a quick background. So to be able to accommodate the live selling part, we needed to be able to do a few things. Number one, we upload the comments manually. So there's this tool online that we upload the comments manually, and then we put all the comments on an Excel tracker, and then we double check all the comments if those they have like those specific codes na parang okay, ito is code to for a person trying to purchase from us. And then um after that, we upload that that's actually being fed to another tracker of orders. So that means each item has their own statuses. They are changed manually, and then the comments are there, parang so generated the new orders, and then the way bills obviously is manually created, and then the customers receive their messages manually. The very hard part here, I think, in regards with the whole business operations sense, is that to be able to understand that two and three is very hard, because because everything is manual. So we were able to finish this actually, and then making this all automatic in I think 2 months, or 1 month. We were able to like put everything in place na lahat siya automatic na. And then we had the whole automation phases, those three phases that you have there. We were able to have those in 2 months. So that's automatic. So we had the first phase of automating via Google Sheets. Second phase is embedding and automating the invoices. And then third phase is automating the comments creation. So we weren't able to go there and then do this in 2 months if sila prior hindi pa maayos yung proseso nila. So it was a lot of people are saying, hey, congrats on being able to do this, parang if you actually talk about it, but parang outside, but pulling the curtain and then showing what's inside, we won't be able to go and do all those automated processes, those three phases in our company, if we weren't able to make sure first that those manual processes are moving forward. So if I know, I understand na manual lahat yan, yung 1 2 3 4 5, but it was marami nang naging ano yan, marami naging obvious na naging naging errors, trial and errors to be able to go into that part. Pero they were able to ano they were with that one, they were able to create or handle 500 orders, 600 orders. Parang imagine an Excel tracker that you cannot open. This is a Google Sheet tracker that we cannot open because there's so many things in there. Parang obviously something that's very allergic din as a developer with a lot of ng ganyan. Pero they were able, it's not Medici level obviously, but it's in a level naman na maayos na siya lahat. Um yun yung mga things that we have here. So it's very nice that we have this phases. Okay, the host has already talked to me. So last one, and then actually I am almost done. So right, so because of that, we had a 500% increase on our capacity and our productivity. That means because of the automation that we have here, we could easily scale. That means we're proud with how we're scaling, but it's not actually because of the technology. We weren't able to be here to be able to scale with these technologies that we're using right now if it's not for the processes and the flows that we were able to like have prior. Kasi napag-usapan na naayos na nila, okay, if we do this, this is the next thing that we do. If we do this, this is the next thing we do. If we didn't have any of those and we started from scratch, man, siguro 8 months, 9 months before namin mano. And then it's going to be hard kasi that means we're always going to be communicating every single day saying, okay, we do this, we do this, we do this. And then probably the stakeholders say, okay, how about we do this instead? So parang shock ka parang, huh? So those are the things. Anyway, so this is how we build the features right now. We manually try the flows. That means we do it first in a way na we do it manually. We still create trackers. And then we double check on those trackers if there's something that they're viable. If it's viable from going A to going B, and then it looks like this is something that we can put in the system already, we do a quick discussion. The quick discussion is including the stakeholders, the UI UX guy that we have, and then product. In this case, product is me, the UI UX guy, and then another person. To understand if yun ba yung best way. When I say stakeholders here, it's not really the bosses, but the people that are going to use it. So we're going to communicate with other departments saying na okay, this is how we're doing it, this is how we're doing it. Now explain to me why are you doing it like this? Why is it like this? Why is it not like left to right? Why is it not right to left? If this is something that we all agreed upon on, the next step is implementation, obviously, which means engineering implements the change. And then next is deployment. And then the best part of this is iteration. That means we don't need to be perfect with the whole thing, but we are able to be there. Okay, okay, next. So you're going to notice a few things. And then with everything that we've discussed a while back, and then there are always two things that is very important to be able to say na okay, flow first, business flow, process flow, or the whole shebang before the technologies or the technologies that we're going to put in. We need two things, KPIs and automation. Without these two things, it's going to be hard to put in the technology and then be able to relatable. Kasi may hirapan ka sabihin, okay, ano next? Kasi you don't know eh. You don't have measurement eh. That's why there's KPIs to be able to measure if the manual thing that you're doing is faster than the technology that you put in, you're failing, right? So that goes with communication as well. If you don't have communication, hindi talaga siya magpapasok. So, yun. Um, Practical tips probably from my end is this one. Be a product owner and observe. If you're a developer, minsan makiano ka like walang manager dito, makikiupo ako. De joke lang. So, um, be a product owner and observe. When I say that, ibig sabihin, ask questions, man. Like, do some lateral change. Be a product manager or project manager for a day. Even if you're a developer, understand why things are happening as they are, and then ask why. And then this is very important. I've said it also kanina pa. Be iterative. That doesn't mean be perfect, but make sure that every single time that something happens, I know you're going to fail, but at least you know when to say why not. Ganun. Okay, and then obviously this is like mga basics, but focus on simplicity, clear communication. Obviously, I heard communication is key, and I agree with you 100%. Automation, this is also in regards to not really just automation but AI as well. But automation should aid, not replace. If you're trying to prove or promote a specific flow and then saying na okay, this is how we're going to do it, you're not going to replace it immediately. You iterate over it. First is automation should aid. This is something that is happening also. And then you need, as developers, magbaba ng ego minsan. And then sometimes it's manual over tech. Sometimes it is more important that it works well rather than automating it so much that your customers or users doesn't understand how to go there as well. And then last is optimize the flow, be adaptable, incremental improvement. Yun yung mga sila. I think those are the only things that I actually have in regards with why flow is better than technology. But this is something that's not only for developers as well, but for product managers, and very important. And I'm not sure if it's very niche here sa PSIA, but startup founders as technologists. So these are very helpful for you guys. So we could I don't know, and then we could proceed to Q&A.
Moving on to our question and answer portion, let's have here Miss Colleen. How can we persuade upper management in traditional companies to embrace technological advancements instead of staying in their comfort zone?
Alam mo, that is something that's really nice for you to be asking kasi I've been on the same thing. Just let me just read it again. How can we persuade upper management in traditional companies to embrace technological advancements instead of staying in their comfort zone? The we I cannot say that we were in this case, right? But we kind of are working around traditional companies because we're in fulfillment, and then something na nag-shift siya. I mean, mga kausap namin actually is very traditional. So what we do is we move around it. Um, Especially if there are like if you have like upper management that sticks with yung ano yung meron sila because they know it works. Because they know na hindi na nila kailangan isipin kasi their mental bandwidth probably would be somewhere else. So, one of the things that would be very helpful is unti-untiin mo lang. Like, understand sa process niyo saan dito yung bumabagsak. Like, what are the things in your process or your flow in your business as a traditional business? For example, good example dyan is our one of our suppliers is Chinese, and then everything is an Excel file, right? Um, and then what you can do is what are the things that they're not touching directly that it na ikaw mismo okay na it's okay for you to actually touch, like usually these are like low hanging fruits na nakikipag-usap with external vendors ganyan. You could automate those because those are like pain points. I always start with the pain points and the problem, and then just automate it paunti-unti hanggang makapunta na kayo with everything else. If they're using Excel, start with Airtable first. So parang Airtable has forms, right? If not Airtable, siguro start with like no code solution. Not really big like Bubble, but siguro like AppSmith. Yung mga small things that is there. And then the reason that they're going to say, hey, okay, we're going to try that is because they're going to see it increase. So going back with what I was saying a while back, you need KPIs and communication, because if you had the KPIs first that is already there, you can say, okay, ito tayo noon, and then hey, by the way, because pinayagan mo naman ako gawin to, I mean pinayagan mo ako bahala kung paano to gawin. I actually explored, and then I did this, and then okay, because of what I did, this is you before, and then this is you now. So there's always needs to be like KPIs of saying na okay, this is the best way of doing it. And then it is very important you start with pain points that are low hanging. Kasi kung nagsubok ka ng pain points na parang ang daming red tape, you're really not going to go anywhere.
All right, thank you for that, Sir Gian. And another question from Christian. When bringing in a new system or technology, should we change our workflow to match the new tech or should we tweak the tech to fit how we currently work? What factors should we consider in making this decision?
All right. Thanks, Christian. Oh, and I see that you're also in ERP, so I understand where you're coming from. So, when you're bringing in a new system or technology, you should never, from our perspective, as much as possible, not change your workflow to match the whole thing. The reason that it's going to be hard na i-change mo or to tweak mo yung workflow mo is that marami kang matatamaang tao. When I say matatamaang tao, maraming mga tao na sanay na sa flow na yon. So it's going to be very hard for them to move forward with it. Even though nasabihin nila, okay, I'm 100% with you, they're still not. Kasi that means may learning curve for them. Kailangan nila gawin to, and then there's a learning curve for everybody. So what I suggest is, yun nga, yung workflow mo, if yung sa tingin mo may bago kang best example, um, we have an ability in the system. So what we do is we have, obviously because we're in live selling, diba? So mga comments. So marami mga comments dyan. And then because it's Facebook and then Pinoys being Pinoys, may nagrereklamo. Minsan yung reklamo nila diin na yung live seller. So and then kailangan ng customer service namin to check yun isa-isa. So what we did was, okay, we know AI. We can use AI. How can we use AI without changing our flow? So what we did was, every time na may pumapasok na bagong comment, we have an AI sentiments analyzer checking that. And then yung AI yun na yun, magsasabi na lang, maglalagay ng tag dun sa invoice na yun saying, hey, check on this. This is a complaint. Review it later. Rather than may tao na nagche-check dun. At least with that, you're going to see na number one, you put in a new technology, pero it's not the center of everything. It's just a workflow, a change in that specific way. When I change the workflow as well, I change it better na yung tao na yun na move out. And then the left and the right, hindi nagbago pa rin kung ano yung ginagawa nila. If kung ano yung ginagawa nila before, it's the same. You just pull the person out para may iba na siyang pwedeng gawin. And then that specific thing, yung nag-change ng process. And kasi pag may nababangga ka, maging mahirap. In development, probably this is basically the same with like when you do OOP, making sure that interfaces are good. Ganyan.
Okay, so our last question from Sir Chris. Since some industries operate without relying on technology, how can we help them adapt to technological advancements and integrate their workflows into a tech-based system?
Right. This is actually a good question because this is one of the problems that I think a lot, especially with ERP or in systems, specialists or vendors have. One thing that's been very helpful with us is, don't give it to them ng isang bagsakan kasi it's going to be overwhelming. So, for example, if you talk to a Chinese warehouse owner and then he's looking for an ERP like yung sa'yo, Chris. He's looking for an ERP. And then sabi mo, okay, we have an ERP. Kaya niya gawin to. A, B, C, D, Z. Ganyan. I can do everything. And then sabi ng Chinese owner, yeah, that's great. Try natin yan. And then most often than not, hindi na siya babalik. Kasi pag bigay mo sa kanya, lahat nandun. Like, your ERP could probably like, they don't, like things they don't need, nandyan, it's looking at in their face. And then they're going to be overwhelmed. So it's very important na, if you're going to introduce something to them, if hindi naman kaya with making, it's not really making the UI beautiful, but making sure that you're only presenting to them the things that they need immediately rather than parang binigay mo ng isang bagsakan, or else talaga sasabi nila, okay, they're going to back off because it's going to be, kasi wala na kasi silang alam sa technology tapos bobombardahin mo pa ng whole ERP mo. So maganda if like tingi-tingi lang. What do you need? Like, do you need this? Okay, we have this. Yan muna gamitin natin. If you want this next month, we have it. Pag-usapan ulit natin.
All right, thank you, Sir Gian, for answering those questions. And I hope, Chris, nasagot ni Sir Gian ang tanong mo. And as much as we want to entertain all of your questions, guys, we're running out of time, unfortunately. Pero please feel free to chat with our speaker on Ermit. And that's all the time we have for this session. If you enjoyed this session, please give your rating and share your feedback about our speaker. You'll find the link in the chat box. So again, let's thank Sir Gian by clicking on the heart or clapping emojis. Ayan. Ayan. So, well, that's the last session for the day. It has been a great time learning along with you, and I hope to see you all tomorrow. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Welcome to Avaloq, the #1 provider of software and services for wealth managers and private banks. Founded in 1985, we now have over 4 trillion in Swiss francs assets managed on our systems, 17 offices, in 10 countries, with more than 2,500 employees across the globe, and 25% of annual revenue spent on R&D. We build long-lasting relationships with our client community. And we're proud of our 100% record of successful client implementations. By sharing our investment in innovation, development and regulatory initiatives, we unlock more value for our community. We enable our clients to grow their business and increase efficiency and speed. Our clients have used our solutions to simplify their administrative burden, increasing revenue per relationship manager by up to 10%. Through automation, we have delivered STP rates for payments of up to 99.8% for our clients. And our flexible and modular architecture allows clients to expand rapidly into new markets. We offer a range of innovative solutions from front to back office. And we also support the back office with banking operations. Avaloq's open, highly scalable architecture is built on a unified data model, providing a single source of truth for all client and transaction data. With our multi-entity, single-instance approach and market-specific standard editions, clients can easily expand their business. Our products integrate seamlessly with our clients' own applications.